and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe. Cantu is on the other side. Hopefully, having a great hump day on this wonderful Wednesday night in Houston, Texas at 9:34 p.m. Central Time. Obviously, Thursday is upon us. The weekend is upon us. U of H Cougars, Final Four, Angel. I don't know if you're a U of H fan, but they could be making some history, being the first, getting their first title in program history in the basketball, at least. I think even in general, I don't think they've won a championship title in their university in sports. Period.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them. Being born and raised in Houston, how can't you, right?
Oh,
So
you got to.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So go Cougs, right? I know that's how I went to school, but I always train the hometown team. So pretty excited for that. But yeah, how's it going? How's it going with you?
We are doing just fine. Even though the Astros got swept by the San Francisco Giants, this is what we're going to title the episode. Where's the Astros offense? It's almost like looking for where's Waldo. Well, I think that's what a lot of fans are searching for are the bats in this batting order because it is honestly one word to describe this. The offense is just horrendous. You got some good players, some MVP players, some all stars that can be giving you RBI production and getting on base, runners in scoring position, all that type of good stuff. And the Astros have only scored 12 runs in 6 games. That doesn't sound like the World Series champions. It doesn't sound like the division winners from last year. I mean, I can go on and on, but this offense is, I mean, we've seen the trend from season to season that the offense is slow going into the season. But I mean, on the plus side, the Astros aren't on a losing streak how they were last year in 2023 at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. But how you're saying this is nothing new for the Astros. If you're an Astros fan, you shouldn't be worried at all. The Astros start slow year in and year out, and then find ways to win. So I just think of Brighton, like you said, they're 2-3. Could be a lot worse because
Two
they
and two
only
and
scored.
four. 2 and 4.
Sorry, it's 2-4. Yes, again, it could be worse, but I think they'll be just fine. Like I know, like there's a lot of excitement around this Astros team with the new additions that they got with Isaac Paredes, Christian Walker, Cam Smith in the lineup. So I'm sure they were expecting a full an offense, but at the end of the day, it's baseball, and again, there's no need to be worried.
I agree. It was a good series against the Mets because that was really that them are two like potential playoff teams that can be entering the postseason this year. The Giants as well. I was shocked. I didn't think, in my opinion, I didn't think they were that good, and they're 5-1 right now. They're hot. That whole
Yeah, that
division, the
I
National
was
League
gonna say.
West. I mean, it's insane. The Dodgers, of course, are the Dodgers. The Padres right now are undefeated, 7-0. The Giants, how they're playing. You can't sleep on the Diamondbacks either. I mean, the Rockies are going to be the Rockies, but the
Like,
division that they're in right now and the way that the Giants played today kind of shows like they could be potentially in the postseason run too.
have you ever seen that meme where it's like the dragons? It's like the green dragons. It's like all the dragon heads. It's like
Fierce ones, and then the little.
yeah, like they're all fierce, and then you got the Rockies over there with the with the funny
Hey, you never
faces.
know. You never know. I think right now, pitching wise, they're leading in
Oh
ERA.
yeah, so was the White Sox too.
Yeah,
I guess you didn't have that one in your bingo card, huh? The White
I don't
Sox
think
and
nobody has
Rockies.
that in their bingo card. The White Sox and the Rockies leading in ERA.
Yeah,
Insane,
crazy.
insane. But just objective, we're going to talk about recap that series, obviously game by game, and then we'll go a little bit detailed with the where's the offense. We'll give our opinion. Throw your comments in there too if you want to join in the conversation because I mean, I think the fans have a point to be a little upset how this offense is performing right now. I know, like we were mentioning just now, that you can't be upset about how they're playing because it's 2-4 record, but at the same time, it's like you brought some new additions, like you were saying, Angel Paredes, Walker, Cam Smith. And I don't think the expectations are very high for these players, but when you come to this team, I think the fans have just embarrassment of riches of just winning so many years, having to go to the World Series so many years, winning 2 World Series as well. So the fans kind of expect the winning culture, and just the way that they're performing on the field hasn't shown as of late. But we'll do that preview with the Minnesota Twins as well. They'll be getting their opening date this coming Thursday, which that series is just. It's just like how this opening day series was with the Mets. They're playing Thursday, they have a break on Friday, and then they're playing Saturday and Sunday. All day games, by the way, too.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just I think it was snowing not too long ago in Minnesota too, so I think that's why I had the day off just for that weather. Never know what that Minnesota coldness can
Is
bring.
it like Lil Yachty, Cole in Minnesota? Astros injury updates, which there's not too much to talk about. Lance McCullers Jr. will give an update on him, and then around the horn, Cantu, you want to lead us off where they could tell everybody where they can follow us, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff.
Of course, you can find us on X, TikTok, YouTube at Full Steam Ahead, and Instagram or FSA Full Steam Ahead. There, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe, comment, tell your friends about it, spread the word. Full Steam Ahead has the best Astros content for you all.
Yes, we are there. We got the best coverage of talking to the players and the coaches and getting some interviews with some guys. So yes, I believe in. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but I believe we have the best coverage for baseball content, Astros content, all that good stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss the videos when we're posting them on our YouTube page and of course our social media platforms. But let's recap that Giant series. I mean, there's some pros and cons. The pros of this series, I would say the pitching wasn't bad. Starting pitching, I don't think did too bad, honestly. There's some rough patches that they could fix, but starting pitching, I think that did pretty well. The con is going to be the offense, and that's why this is the title. Where's the offense? But we'll start off with the good real quick with Ronel Blanco in game one. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 92 pitches. He finished with 56 being strikes. I don't think his stat line looks very like 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks. Like if they did damage against him, but honestly, he did a really good job. He did a really good job. Changeup was there. And we talked about that second time around the lineup. Can Ronel Blanco keep on pushing the pedal, not give up any walks? Or is he going to kind of fall off the tracks just a little and potentially get taken out of the game? And sure enough, that's what happened. But we'll start with them runs, how they were onto his stat line. On 3-2, Cal Wilmer Flores, man. I mean, I think he had a good series. I think he's been playing good baseball overall, too. Hit a,
Ramos too.
yeah, Helio Ramos as well. But back to Flores, I mean, he hit a soft single to left. And why I say soft single, if you go look at the replay of that video of how the Giants scored that first run off Blanco, it wasn't a bad pitch. Yiner wanted the ball high and out of the zone. And you got to tip your cap to Flores, man. And that's what Blanco did with Diaz. Threw the ball, threw fastball out of the strike zone, high and inside, and he just got his hands into it. And sure enough, got the runner to score from left. Can't do nothing about that. Lamont Wade Jr., RBI sac fly. Blanco did miss his location with that pitch. He wanted a fastball down, but got it too much in the plate. Just thank God that Wade did not put a good swing on it because it would have been to the fans in the bleachers and right. But the big topic on this one I want to talk about is Cam Smith's arm, man. We talked about the athleticism this kid has, and the transition from third base to the outfield wasn't going to be hard because the build that he has, the arm strength that he presents, and the athleticism that he shows as well. And the throw, man, 93.6 miles per hour from right field to home plate isn't a bad number. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I think it was. I mean, people over the summer described Cam Smith as an aircraft carrier, and it also has a cannon attached to it because 93.6 miles per hour isn't bad. I think that's what a bunch of teams might do early on, try to test Cam Smith. Yes, he had a fast throw, however, it was a little offline. So I think they're going to try to, see how much they can toy with that and running on Cam Smith. So I would see a lot of aggressiveness from there.
Yeah, I think it was a good throw. I honestly, and no, this is no offense to Jake Myers or Chas McCormick, but he has a stronger arm than both those guys. I would want to say, and
Could
possibly
be.
even Alvarez. And Alvarez, I think, is their best, has the best arm in the outfield between McCormick, Myers. I mean, if you want to throw Dubon, we could throw Dubon in there. But I think Alvarez has the best arm. But with this throw right here, 93.6 coming out of his, like you said, a cannon. I mean, that's not bad at all from a rookie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just again, and as soon as he gets more reps, more accurate those throws will become.
Yeah, so he's just going to continue getting more reps. He's going to get better. The same thing goes for Altuve. He did miss a ball. He misplayed a ball at left field. Um, I'm getting too ahead of myself. I want to say it was either game two or game three that it hit the Crawford boxes. He was trying to cut it. In that situation, I think you want to just let the ball go to the wall, play it off the bounce, and then make a play. And he did not do that. But we'll talk just a little bit more in a second. Third run was charged on a Wilmer Flores home run. Like I said, this guy was really hot this series for the Giants, and this wasn't accounted for Ronel Blanco because Blanco didn't throw that pitch. It was coming from Luis Contreras. Blanco gave up that leadoff walk in the sixth inning, no outs, and it was a 2-0 game. And I want to get your opinion on this because I thought Joe Espada would have went to, and I'm not saying Luis Contreras is not the right guy to, but I would have, in my opinion, gone to a veteran like Taylor Scott. 2-0 ball game, pretty close, leadoff walk, maybe try to get the ground ball, double play kind of thing. Someone with more experience in something, in them type of situations. Like I said, not bashing Luis Contreras or anything like that, not saying that he couldn't get it done. But in my opinion, I think Scott would have been the better option, especially only throwing 2/3 of an inning in that series together against the Mets.
Yeah, it could be maybe just trying to save the bullets a little bit. It's not a bad idea to get the young guys with less experience early on in a situation like this. So maybe just trying to see what he's got. I know that's what spring training is for, but sometimes the intensity level of spring training is not the way MLB pitchers is. So I mean, there's like to me, there's nothing wrong with it. To me, and like I said, I think it's
But that's
always
what I'm
trying to
saying.
get.
Okay, I'm interrupt you real quick. You're not saying that with a 2-0 game, and I'm not saying too like the Astros, it's a must-win game, but you're going to want to win that game, so you're going to want to put the
Yeah,
best. I would
obviously.
think the best bullpen piece to go out there in that situation, just to
But
keep the
that's
game
just
close.
but that just shows how much confidence Spotter has in his guys too. Again,
Exactly,
I'm
nothing wrong with
sure I'm sure early on he's trying to get a taste of of what these guys have. Like, will Luis Garcia be in the bullpen when Lance McCullers comes back? When Christian Ray comes back? Probably not. However, you never know when injuries happen. They might need his number called again, and he might be put in a situation where he's trying to hold the lead or stuff like that. So just getting those reps in those pressure situations, I think wouldn't do no wrong.
Yeah, you make a good point. Maybe just getting the young guys in there, get some reps, even though it's not spring training no more.
Yeah.
Get them in that familiarity just in case they're going to need them going down the line. So, yeah, I mean, there's some agreement on that. I just, in my opinion, I thought Taylor Scott would have been the guy. You would kept the 2-0 lead, and because later on, Esau Paredes hits a 2-run double off the wall. Never know, it could be a tie game. That's the beauty of baseball. It's a game of chess. It's a game of chess, trying to figure out what's your best way, best strategy to do the other opponent. But that wouldn't
Sure.
have happened because the Astros had 10 strikeouts in their offense, double digits again. And like I said, the only runs that came across were the Isak Paredes 2-run double off the Crawford boxes and left in the eighth inning. So, like I said, the offense was just not really there. But Paredes got the 2 runs in. The Astros didn't get shut out, but they did lose the game 7-2. Game two going into it, it was a homecoming for Hayden Wesneski. Astros debut, going to Minute Maid Park to watch some of these guys play, the Killer Bees, all that good stuff from them days at the ballpark. The Juice Box, now it's called the Ice Box, but
Yeah.
a lot of people still refer to it as the Juice Box. And Wesneski, family in attendance as well. I'm pretty sure there was some nerves, some jitters going on to the mound for the first time, especially when you've watched so many Astro games, so many pitchers, Roy Oswalt, Roger Clemens, Brandon Backey, Andy Pettit. I mean, we could go on the list. Shane Reynolds. I mean, all the great pitchers in the game of Astros baseball. And Wisniewski gone on the mound, 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Just like I said, it's not a bad stat line. It is honestly not. And we had talked about it, me and you, in our last podcast. We saw this game of Logan Webb and Wisniewski. Who's going to be that first pitcher to make a mistake?
Mhm.
And sure enough, it was not Logan Webb, which is the veteran, the all-star. And I'm pretty sure he had some Cy Young voting here and there.
Yeah.
But 88 pitches, 54 strikes, 13 swing and misses. This is the encouraging part about him because he has a lot of swing and miss stuff. And I had talked about this guy has probably going to get a good strikeout per 9 inning ratio when the season's over. The way he's throwing his sweeper, the combination of the four seamer, the cutter, he throws some changeups. I have it right here: 48 fastballs were thrown, 14 cutters were thrown, and 13 sweepers. On the sweepers, 20 inches of max vertical break on that pitch. So you can see so much movement. You can see so much RPMs. That's basically saying the spin rate of his sweeper. There's a lot of movement in that pitch, and that's why it's so nasty in crucial counts. Like if he has to go on a 2-1 backdoor, same thing goes for or 3-2 or 2-2. I mean, that's a good pitch to throw. His cutters and changeups were mostly thrown all to lefties. The changeup was thrown to the lefty regardless, but cutters trying to get that back door on that outside part of the plate to them guys. And let's just go to the runs. Walked Patrick Bailey and Christian Koss to start that third inning. It was the 8-9 batter, and we've heard this from last year. The Astros, some of this Astros starting pitching or just relievers in general would walk the 9 guy in that lineup and it'd go to the top of the order. So Willie Adames, of course, is not the leadoff guy, but he is the number 2 guy in their lineup and hits a 2-run double down the line and left. And that's the one I was telling you. Altuve kind of misplayed that. Should have just let the ball roll to the wall and play it on the hop. And just going to the pitch of Wesneski, that pitch wasn't a bad one. If you go look at the replay, they set it up outside and just another great piece of hitting on the Giants. Adames kind of pulls it, reaches out and pulls it to left, goes all the way to the wall. And like I said, just a tip of a cat. That's a veteran, especially a guy that just got paid recently. So Adames is meant for them type of situations. Next up, real quick, 1-2 count to Helio Ramos. Throws a
Elliot Ramos.
sweeper. Throws a sweeper. And what does he do, Angel?
I have him on fantasy team, so bangs it at the park.
Exactly. Hits it to man, it wasn't even that long of a home run though. It was like in the first or second row of the Crawford
It
boxes.
was it was a Crawford box home run for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, he threw a sweeper, just stayed in the strike zone, didn't really break a lot like Diaz would have wanted. He probably wanted it a little bit outside the strike zone, and just another pitch that they got a hold of and hit a home run. And that was Wisniewski's game. Like I said, Wisniewski didn't have a bad Astros debut. He really did not. The same thing goes for Blanco. Both of them did their jobs. 3 runs. You're not asking a lot as a starting pitcher, I would say.
No. Yeah, I think all they want is to go 5 innings early on, so that's what they did. They kept the Astros in the game, and I think it was just a matter of the offense picking them up. But before we move on, you said it was a homecoming for Hayden Wesneski, and so it was for Jordan Hicks, who grew around the Fort Bend area there. And I just want to touch on something I said last time. I gave the averages of his sinker from 2018 to 2023. They were around 100, and then fell off last year. Well, he's back to high 99 sinkers. I don't know if you saw the game where he was just chugging us and has so much movement too. So just wanted to touch on that as well.
Well, I guess he kind of like gave him a heads up, like, hey, your velocity's down, you got to pick it back up.
Yeah.
But then again, the adrenaline gets there. You're back at home. You best believe you're going to be pumping hundos all the time when you're going onto the mound, especially just fastball in general.
Yeah.
But the only run came courtesy of number 27 himself. Astros great and probably Astros Hall of Famer, and more than likely, in my opinion, probably be a National Baseball Hall of Famer. I don't know if he gets first ballot of everybody's bias of the sign stealing scandal, but that's another talk for another day. Jose Altuve sends his first home run into the Crawford boxes, and that one was a Minute Maid Park home run, a Daikin Park home run, Crawford box home run. It was a line drive right into the first row of the Crawford boxes. Gets on the board for the Astros, but like I said, that was all she wrote. 3-1 game. They lost that one. And then game 3 today, Framber Valdez took them down, and that was some life that I feel like Astro fans were like, okay, Blanco could get done. Wesneski could get done. Framber pitched a great outing the last time the Astros on opening day. So there's some hope right there that Framber could get them back into the win column. Did not go as planned as Astro fans were hoping for. 5 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, 88 pitches were thrown, 58 were strikes. For Framber in this game, in this start, he had a lot of trouble finding the strike zone. Command was just not there in the beginning of the game. In the first, changeup was up and in to Wilmer Flores. And Wilmer Flores, like I said, I feel like I'm just saying this guy's name all the time. Did not miss it. Crawford box shot. And the Giants already score up. I think it was 1-0 or 2-0 at that time. Second inning comes up. Framber throws his sinker, and it did not break inside to Luis Matos. Lifted the ball, home run to left center. In the beginning, it looked like it was a double off the wall, but after review, they called it a home run. And then last but not least, walked the 8 guy, just like Wesneski, walked the 9 guy. Mike Yastrzemski and Tyler Fitzgerald were walked. 8 and 9. What does the leadoff hitter do? Ramos double on a sinker that stayed low and above the zone. Did not break. I think the sinker command was just not there for him. The curveball command as well. It was just it wasn't a settled start for him. The 9 strikeouts is a good when you look at the stats, but the 4 walks is what hurt him. The command was hurting him. At the end of the day, he did settle after the first 2 innings, but it was just not enough for him.
Yeah, I think this is a tell to Frambers that the Astros fans have seen. It's Astros fans have seen Framber at his elite best, potential Cy Young, but then they've also seen Framber Valdez as the elite worst, like, where you just can't find it. And, with Framber's stuff, he relies too much on command with that movement. If you ever see that when that sinker sinking, that's has a ton of run. So
Yep.
does that curveball. So it's all about command and feel. And sometimes early on, uh, he can't find it. And like you said, he settled on it, like he found the feel for it. Sometimes it happens the opposite way. He starts off good, but then loses that feel, that curve. I mean, that sinker. So it's all about command with him. I think his stuff is too good where he can kind of get away with stuff, but sometimes, like you said, it doesn't break and it just stays flat. But I think he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in this league so long,
Yeah.
and like you said, he'll figure it out. But like you mentioned too, it's the tale of two Frambers. Like the Astros don't know if one day Framber Valdez is going to go out there and throw a no hitter and leave the game, or you're getting a Framber Valdez with sinkers and curveballs that are all over the plate in the strike zone. You just don't know what you're going to get. We've seen this in the past 2 postseasons now. 23, he struggled, and definitely in 24, I would say he struggled against the Tigers. We can even go back to 23 with the Twins and the Texas Rangers. So Framber is on a contract year, and if he wants to continue to perform just like what former Astro Kyle Tucker's doing, which we'll have a little tidbit right here in a minute about him, then he's going to have to continue showing now and show that he's capable of being an ace of someone else's franchise, or potentially the Astros could give an extension done.
Yeah. And he got one ugly start out the way early, so maybe he can get a little run, a little hot start, and have those great starts consecutive. Yeah.
This is a random question that's just the top of my head right now. Do you think have we seen the best of Framber Valdez?
Uh,
No, I'm putting you on
I'm
the spot, but
I mean, I feel like he has still a bunch of great starts in him. I think just his movement alone, like the run on his pitches, even on his worst day, he can still go out there and shove 7 strikeouts, 2 runs. It's just if he can find it. Like I feel like sometimes the sneaker kind of reminds me of a knuckleballer where they throw a knuckleball, I don't know where it's gonna end up. Sometimes I feel like that's what his sinker is. He throws it and doesn't know where it's gonna end up. And to me, it's just kind of like feel. Like I think it's a mixture of emotional. Sometimes like he does get a little stressed out there, where you can kind of see that, and just of trusting his stuff too much, where he doesn't get what he wants. But I think to answer your question, now I think Rafael Valdez has a lot of great outings left in him. I think if he were to sign with the Astros 2 or 3 years, I think he'd still be in the opening they started early ace of the team. I think he still has a lot more in the tank to get.
so you believe that he is still the ace of this team, regardless of just anything. Just that's what I'm saying. Just as of right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I've already had we've already talked about us two, like of the ace and who's the future ace. I still think it's Hunter Brown, but that'll be. I think we could talk about that a little more later through the season, how everything is going. Of course, it's just too early to tell. Like you just can't predict if the Astros are World Series winners or are they going to be in the playoffs or like all that type of stuff. It's not there yet until we get later on into the season. Then we can have that discussion again. But the Astros offense made, I think his name was Rope, if I'm not mistaken, Roup, Rope. Made
Roop
him
or
look
something. I
like a
don't know.
Cy Young out there, man. Made him look like a Cy Young. 14 strikeouts as a team. This Houston offense. Everyone had a strikeout, but Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers was the only one that did not strike out. Some guys struck out multiple times. I think the first inning alone, Altuve, Paredes, and Alvarez struck out in the first inning. So not a good start, but the positive out of it, Zach DeZito, RBI bloop single. Jordan Alvarez with a 2-run. It was an error at the beginning. And when you go look at that replay, I don't understand how the hell that was an error. That was a rope to the first baseman. There's no way in hell you are catching a 110. I'm throwing a number. I don't know if it was a 110, but it probably felt like it. Exit velo off the bat in error at the first baseman. That's bullshit. That's just a hard single. But anyway, 2 runs scored, and let's just rewind just a little bit back. Bases loaded for Jordan at that time. It's the 2-run single. You got runners on first and third. You got the meat part of that order coming up. Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, Jeremy Pena. Runners on first and third, no outs. And the game was, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was 5-3 at that time. Christian Walker pops out to Matt Chapman. Yainer Diaz, strikeout. Jeremy Pena, strikeout. The Astros have to find a way and do a better job at putting the ball in play. You put the ball in play, at least Christian Walker, and I'm not bashing on him because he's honestly been hitting the ball. It's just been to some tough luck as of late. He has gotten some strikeouts as well. But let's say Christian Walker puts the ball in play, you're at a 5-4 game. You're at a 1-run game after that. Same goes for Yainer Diaz. Yainer Diaz has some speed on him. He's very underrated, I would say, in his speed. You could beat out a ground ball double play and make it into a fielder's choice. And of course, you can go with the same thing with Jeremy Pena. If, let's say, Walker scores the guy from third, you got runners on first and second, first and third with the Diaz strikeout. Pena comes up, can run it out and beat something out. He led the team, I'm pretty sure, in infield singles last year. But the Astros just got to do a better job putting the ball in play and try to manufacture some type of runs for their bullpen.
Yeah, I think again, but like I was kind of mentioning earlier, it's just a typical Astros, the start of the season where they're trying to find it offensively, but then heat up. But only time will tell how that will go. But as of right now, if you're an Astros fan, yes, you're probably upset that your team is not scoring runs, but you're not hitting the panic button yet. I think this offense is too good. The Astros made the great, you know, added the great addition needed to make this a contending team, and I think it's just a matter of time. Especially, I like the lineup construction that Joe Spot has been throwing out there. It's been pretty good. The 1 through 6 consistently is in there, and then just kind of playing around with the 7, 8, 9 hitters there. But I think again, only it's a matter of time when this offense will heat up, and when it does, beware.
Who would be wearing the American League or the division?
The division.
I'm looking at the AOS standings real quick, pulling them up. Rangers 5-2, Angels 4-2, Mariners 3-4, Astros 2-4, Athletics 2-5.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
sprint,
been in this situation before. Yeah,
not a sprint, but at the same time too, you do want to kind of get a competitive edge and not play from behind like last year. Last year they were playing from behind all the way down to the last bottom of the barrel of the standings, and you saw them come back up. And Joe Spot, I think that was the message this year going into spring training. Let's not do what we did last year. We want to do better. We want to put ourselves in position to be comfortable at the top of the West and have some games behind us, like have a cushion between whoever's second, whoever's third. Because I mean, we've seen this from the Astros from the past 2 seasons. I don't know. In 22, I think they were really well. They didn't have a small leash on them, but like in 23, I mean, came literally to the last freaking game. Last year with the Mariners, it came to what, the last maybe 10 games
Yeah.
in September. So I think the Astros just want to avoid that. But in order to do that, their offense has to start clicking right now. Starting pitching's in a good position. I would even say the bullpen's still in a good position. You're going to get Caleb Ward and Forrest Whitley back whenever that IL stint comes off. So I think you'll strengthen a little more of that bullpen. Probably Ryan Gusto more than anything, and Luis Contreras be sit down. So if the offense just can find that rhythm, I think the Astros could be a different team and they could be on top of the AL West because literally the series against the Reds for the Rangers, the Reds outscored them that whole series. I think it was 16-5, if I'm not mistaken. But the Reds outscored the Rangers and the Rangers took that series against the Reds. So it is just the way you got to manufacture runs at this point.
Yeah. And again, when they do come for the Astros, they do come in bunches, but then sometimes play that offense can't score, and it's just one of those moments there.
And if it's not the offense that can't score, it's like you got to pass the baton. Got to pass the baton over to somebody that can. And I'm gonna give you some stats right now, because this is gonna be the objective of this one is where's the Astros offense, as this is the title of this episode. Houston is, and this is in Major League Baseball, 24th in on base percentage with 270, 28th in batting average, 178 as a team. They're trailing Seattle with 172 and Atlanta, which is a shocker to me. The Atlanta Braves, 137. Um, 28th in hits, only have 32 as a team, trailing the Colorado Rockies and the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves, I actually right now want to say, are being the Dodgers 5-0, if I'm not mistaken. So that could be changing just like this one right here. They're 28th in runs with 12, trailing Atlanta and Colorado with 9. So I think now at this point they are 29th, trailing Colorado. And finally, 29th in OPS, 492 as a team, trailing the Atlanta Braves. Like I said, this could change right now as the Braves are playing against the Dodgers. I think they're winning five to something at this point, or maybe it's advanced right now. But we'll give up some more advanced offensive stats presented by Baseball Savant. The Astros are second to last in WOBA, 229 percentage, 5.6%, trailing the Pittsburgh Pirates 5%, and expected slugging 330, trailing Pittsburgh as well. You want to give me a guess who has the most, like who has the top barrel percentage on this team right now?
I would say Christian Walker.
It is not Christian Walker. I'll give you one more guess.
Jose Altuve. Or I'm sorry, Jordan Albert.
Not even both of them. Jeremy Pena is leading the Astros with barrel percentage with 16.7%. Which I'm not saying he's not, he should not be on there. But yeah, you got guys on this lineup, like you mentioned, Christian Walker has been smacking the shit out of the ball. Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve. So that's that. Then one more just to put some cherries on the top of this. The Astros have only scored 12 runs in 6 games, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. 6 runs in each series, by the way. Kyle Tucker has 11 RBIs himself. Aaron Judge has 4 home runs just himself. The Astros only have 4 extra base hits. Jerry Pena's home run from the 3rd game of that series against the Mets. Alvarez's double. Isar Perez's double. And Jose Altuve's home run. That is not really good. I'm pretty sure this is over, the extra base hits at least is over 200 something plate appearances combined for this whole Astros batting order. So before I get to have you start talking, give me your thoughts and everything. The Astros are still struggling with runners in scoring position. And this has been the start of the season for the Astros and really the Astros every damn season. Monday, 2 for 6. Tuesday, 0 for 2. Wednesday, 2 for 7. Combine that all together, do the math, 4 for 15. Left on base, Monday, 5. Tuesday, 3. Wednesday, 9. Okay. Torpedo bats have been a huge topic of discussion for Major League Baseball this season. The Astros will have a little bit talk in just a second about that. Do they need torpedo bats? Do they need to restructure their lineup? Do they need new hitting coaches? What needs to be done for Houston to catch a spark in this lineup as of right now?
I wouldn't say much, honestly. It's just two series into the season. Now, if we're a month in and it's still at this trend, then maybe I could say, well, maybe they should add this or that. But as of right now, I think just let baseball unfold. And again, the Atlanta Braves, who were predicted to win to compete with the division, are off to a slow start. A bunch of teams are too as well. At this point, I think everything is fine. Like, I don't think there should be a change as right now. I think it's just gonna, it'll happen on its own. That's just the way baseball is. People get hot, bats get hot. All it takes is one person to get it going for the whole lineup to go going to. So as of right now, I think everything's good.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw uh some of the hitters with some strikeouts. Jordan Alvarez, 7 strikeouts as of right now. Christian Walker, 9 strikeouts. Yainer Diaz, 4 strikeouts. Jeremy Pena, 3 strikeouts. Looking at Jose Altuve right now, who's been honestly he's been hitting the ball, 6 strikeouts. And he's leading the team right now with the 295, not 295, 391 batting average. And let me just pull up one more player. Brendan Rodgers has been playing a little bit lot than Mauricio Dubon. I went to Isak Paredes actually. Sorry about that. 5 for Isak. And let me get Rodgers real quick. I'm not gonna take that long. It's just gonna take about 1 to 2 seconds. Brendan Rodgers only has 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, by the way. Just to give a little credit too to Isak, man, plate, and we talked about it. The plate discipline that he's showing, and we told you just got to be patient with him. Same thing with Walker. That series with Paredes, the way he played was pretty good. So, but back to the strikeout conversation. The Astros have been striking. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's not common to see Jordan Alvarez struggle. It was good to see him have a multi-hit game today for them. Christian Walker with 9 strikeouts. Um, for me, it's just maybe just like let's say tomorrow they play Thursday. Maybe switch Walker and Diaz. Try to find a spark. Try to get something going. I would say put Pena at 4, put Pena at 5. I think Isak is in a good position. I think Jose Altuve is in a good position. I think them two are locks. Jordan Alvarez
Jordan
more than
too.
anything could probably be a lock at in the 3 hole.
Yeah,
I
he
think
doesn't like
maybe
flip flopping.
say it again.
He doesn't like flip flopping. You remember that was one of the biggest thing. He wanted to stay consistently in one spot in his
Oh
lineup.
yeah, Jordan. Yes, correct, correct. So yeah, like I said, I think he's good with 3. That's what I'm saying. Maybe just to get a spark in this offense because 4 extra base hits ain't it. Leading almost every hitting category as a team in like 28, 29, 30. Like if it's the Astros farm system, maybe just throw a little flip flop with Diaz and Walker and see if it could work. For instance, like honestly, Yainer Diaz hit really well in the 4 hole last season for the Astros, and that's where he was stuck because of Jose Abreu got DFA, John Singleton. Uh, Obviously, they put the righty lefty thing, but looking at the splits, not looking at looking at splits. Actually, I'm gonna go 2024 real quick. I'm already looking at it. And Yander Diaz in the 4 spot, a 309 batting average. Batting fifth, I mean, still good, 325. But just to see if we could get Christian Walker, and I'm not saying we as the Astros, but for the Astros to see if maybe Christian Walker just needs to go down just in the lineup just to get his feet going again, and then maybe putting him back up at 4. I don't know. I think maybe that could be a good idea in this series for the Twins to try it out for at least Walker and Diaz, maybe get a spark in that middle part of the order because that's really your meat and potatoes of this lineup. If you can't get no RBI production from them, then more than likely you're going to continue getting 1, 2, 3, maybe even 0 runs.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the Astros do, but just wait till they heat up.
Okay. So you just think everything's good, all calm,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
panic mode.
This
I'm not
team,
saying
this,
I'm not saying that it should be a panic mode for the Astros, but I'm just saying just to find a way to get the offense rolling for them
yeah.
because I never thought the Astros would have 12 runs in 6 games. Like, I don't think you would have even thought about that.
Mhm.
It's the same thing for the Braves. I don't know what the Braves. I don't know if they've been restructuring their lineup as well, but it shows that
I heard
missing
that.
Ronald Acuna in that lineup hurts.
Yeah, I haven't kept tabs too much on them, so I can't tell you what they've
That's
done.
what I'm
But
saying. I don't have
yeah.
tabs on the lineup over there for Atlanta either, but I wonder if they're maybe doing something. Maybe they're going to flip flop next game. Well, shoot, right now, like I mentioned, they're being the Dodgers right now against. I don't know who's pitching in that game, but
I
being
don't
them.
know.
Anyway, moving on to the Torpedo Bats. Like I said, they will be landing in Houston, Texas, pretty soon. Next week is a kind of a timetable where the Torpedo Bats that some of these Astro players could potentially be using. And this is from an article from Michael Shapiro from the Houston, not from Houston, from Cron.com. Remember, Houston Chronicle and Cron.com are two different sites. Two different sites. So if you didn't know that, now you know. I didn't know that in the beginning until obviously networking and talking about it with them. And yeah, two different sites. So make sure you know about that. Houston Chronicle, Cron.com, two different media outlets. But this is a quote from his article, and this is it. Houston manager Joe Espada said Wednesday the Astros will begin experimenting with, quote, torpedo bats, end quote. When the team begins its next homestand on Friday, April 11th, that series will be against the Los Angeles Angels, which they've been playing good baseball as of late as well. Um, and in the article, it also had mentioned Christian Walker would be interested in trying it out. Cam Smith, Astros top prospect, rookie that's playing decent baseball for the Astros, said he worked with a torpedo bat during his brief stint as a Chicago Cub minor leaguer. So probably with them Smoky Bears over there in Double A. And I mean, I'm gonna continue asking you this question because we've talked about a little bit about the torpedo bats last podcast. We didn't go too deep into it, but you've seen the trend now from opening day with the Yankees lineup hitting 5 plus. I mean, they're making history hitting a bunch of home runs. Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells. Aaron Judge didn't even use a torpedo bat, but just them guys. Ellie De La Cruz been using it. Francisco Lindor, I didn't know this, had used it during the homestand uh, in the opening day, the opening weekend series against the Astros. Ryan Jeffers. I mean, numerous players have been using this bat, and then trend by trend, players are starting to ask their back companies like Chandler, Victor Sports, Marucci to start making the product and bringing it in because they want to test it out, see how it feels, just like all these other players. So I'm not saying these bats are magical because they're not. It's baseball at the end of the day. You're still going to have to put contact on the ball. But do you think if the Astros use these torpedo bats, it sounds like a dumb question. Could it make it maybe making a little impact or maybe make a huge impact with these players?
Could be. Could be. Honestly, sometimes it might be a little mental aspect. You see it working for somebody else, you're gonna use it. That you might get a little boost of confidence in your swing, and some magic happens, right? But it could be. Again, like you said these players have to put the barrel to the ball. It just gives them a little advantage on that end, I think. But I mean, you've seen what the buzz is. You've seen what the Yankees have done with it and these players. So it could be beneficial to start scoring some runs. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Again, only time will tell if we see it or not. But it'll be pretty interesting to see once they start getting them. See if the offense changes a little bit,
Kind of shocked that they're not going to be shipping them to like Minnesota or
right?
Seattle. The Seattle's next away series, but just to get the Astros, just to test it out as of right now, and then if as a player, if you want to continue using it, continue using it. If you don't, then obviously you don't. But just imagine Jordan Alvarez hitting a torpedo bat. Just think about that for a brief second. You're seeing Ellie De La Cruz smoking balls. Just think of the big man. If he wouldn't get a hold of that torpedo, you don't think he'd be breaking El Grande in right field or putting a ball into the ocean of I think that's the Pacific in Seattle. Yeah, I want to say so. I'm not a geography major, but I think Jordan Alvarez could benefit using that type of bat. Maybe even Christian Walker. I mean, he's been barreling up a lot of balls, but hasn't gone anywhere. Maybe the torpedo bat could make a difference and put some loft on his ball.
Yeah, again, could be. I think it does open up that sweet spot a little bit to the bat. So, maybe the Astros could benefit from that. But I guess we just gotta wait and see what happens.
I will say this before we get on: the Astros bats have been crickets, have been crickets. But you never know. The way serious the Astros always have been a good road team, and maybe they could get something done, Angel.
Yeah, hopefully they don't have those pillows Justin Verlander had on the away when, with those neck issues. Remember that? But the Astros will go on and face Minnesota starting Thursday, which is tomorrow. It's going to be Hunter Brown versus Joe Ryan, which again we talked about pitching matchups in the last two series. This has the potential for that as well. Hunter Brown's last outing versus the Mets is 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. He got the loss, so he has an on-one record with a 3 ERA. Now, for Hunter Brown, we see a lot of that fastball and that curveball action sometimes, but this outing he took a little playbook from Ronel Blanco and trusted his changeup a little bit more. Uh, in his past outing, Hunter Brown threw his changeup 22% against the Mets, which is a big difference from last year that he only threw it 12.6% last year. So it could be, he's trying to mix it up. A big thing we talked about Ronel Blanco was that now the teams are on that change up, same with Hunter Brown. Now the teams are on that fastball curveball thing, so kind of change up the looks. And for the most part, it worked. I mean, he did pitch into some bad luck against the Mets. I mean, Han Soto tagged him, but at the end of the day, that was a pretty good pitch that he hit. So it's interesting to see if he continues that trend or tries to mix up, go back to what worked in the past. So be a pretty good outing for Hunter Brown. I think he has the tools in the matchup to compete against this Minnesota team. On the other end, the Minnesota Twins will counter with Joe Ryan, who is pretty phenomenal, has pretty good stuff. His last outing versus St. Louis, he threw 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. He has a 1.80 ERA. He got the no decision on that, so he has an 0 record. He has a 5 pitch repertoire of a fastball, split finger, sinker, sweeper, and slider. Now, just like Hunter Brown, he's heavy on that fastball, but a little different is that split finger, which is deadly. He had a whiff rate of 50% against the Cardinals on that.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good pitching series, honestly, dude. I'm getting to it myself, but even the start of this, opening day for the Twins, you're going with Joe Ryan on the mound, Hunter Brown. Like in my opinion, I think that's gonna be the ace of the Astros. Good pitching matchup, so it could be a pitcher's duel, like that series with Webb and Wisneski, or it can be a hitter's game. I mean, I don't know, but great pitching matchup just overall. Two All Stars, I would say, in this bold prediction. Two All Stars this year.
Yeah, Spencer Arrighetti would take the bump on Saturday. Like Lorenzo said, they have an off day on Friday just for a weather delay or anything like that for Thursday. But Saturday, this is the one I'm curious about. Spencer Arrighetti and Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober had a phenomenal season last year, got up to a rough start. Spencer Gay kind of the opposite, right? Was kind of inconsistent this year and had a great start against the Mets. It's just gonna see which pitches are you getting. Spencer Gay, like we said last podcast against the Mets, he threw 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts. As a 1-0 record with 1.5 ERA. Now something we did see from Spencer Arrighetti is that he mixed up his pitches well against the Mets. He kind of kept them on their toes, kind of throwing them off of what the scouting report is. He had a pretty much even split: 28 fastballs, 18 cutters, 18 curveballs, 12 sweepers, and threw in 9 changeups in there. So to me, like we've talked about Spencer Arrighetti, he has the stuff to be a great pitcher. It's just all about command. Limiting the Mets to 2 walks, which by far is a great lineup. So 2 walks for that lineup is pretty phenomenal. If he can do what he did this last inning, it can go a long way for this Astros team. They're relying on this guy to be the third men in that bullpen, especially since Christian Javier's out and McCullers is out. So if they can get a good outing again consistently, a big plus for the Astros. Bailey Ober, who had an ERA of 3.98 last year, was off to a rough start against the Cardinals. He pitched 2.2 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. 0-1 record with 27 ERA. Obviously, when you're down in the count trying to catch up, you rely a lot of your fastball. There's a lot of fastball changeup. Now, Bailey Over is not a guy that throws 99, 97 miles per hour.
Mhm.
Now, when you throw that fast, you can get away with some pitches that just miss a spot in the middle of the bowl, in the middle of the plate. But his average velocity is um, 92 miles per hour. And what hurt him against the Cardinals is the fastball command. He left a lot of fastballs out over the plate, which were hit hard, and that's what resulted in those 8 hits, 8 runs. So look for Betty Over to try to clean that up. But if he doesn't, this is a great chance for the Astros offense to ignite. Again, like I said earlier, it takes one guy to rally this offense, or one off day by the opposing pitcher, and this could be it. If he continues the trade he did last year, it could be the offense could turn around for the Astros.
Yeah, and the Astros have seen Bailey over numerous times. In the series against the Twins, the postseason they saw him in the ALDS. Obviously, Altuve went and hit a leadoff home run against him. So they're not nothing new to them to see Ober. Ober is a tall guy, so his extension is going to be pretty substantial long, as well as his reach point. So can't be fooled. 0-1 record, 27 ERA. Still a good pitcher. Still a good pitcher. And to Eric Getty's point, like you mentioned, that was some good analysts from the pitch count and the pitch selection that he did with mixing a lot of his pitches. I think that cutter is new. I want to say in
Yeah.
his arsenal. That was the pitch that he didn't want to reveal until obviously he started pitching it. But
Mhm.
to me, it's like he's a competitor, and you've talked about the command issue. When he goes on that mound, he wants to compete with the best. And this lineup is you can really take advantage of this lineup because you face a better lineup against the Mets, nothing against the Twins, but Royce Lewis, one of their big bats, is out. Byron Buxton had a decent series, but he's batting a buck 90. Carlos Correa right now is he just cannot figure it out offensively. It could change because they're playing at home for the first time this season. So, like I said, but to your point, Eric Getty has everything. He has everything. He just has to be confident going onto that mound and command. That's going to be the two things for him if he's going to have a successful day at the office: command and confidence. Without them two, or either or, Twins could do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Twins have a similar record to the Astros, 2-4, and it's been tough for pitching for them. Like I just told you that. Bailey Over just pitched 2.2 innings. Well, Paddock had similar luck that, and he's gonna be throwing Sunday. Ronel Blanco will be throwing Sunday as well. Let me start with Paddock on this time around, change it up a little bit. But like again, Bailey Over only pitched 2.2 innings. Paddock's got hit pretty hard by the Chicago White Sox, who we said earlier surprisingly has one of the best CRA in the major leagues right now. But against the Chicago White Sox, Paddock threw 3.1 innings pitched, 6 hits, 9 earned runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts, giving him a 0-1 record, 224.30 ERA. That's not where you want to be by any means in the mound, no matter where you're throwing at. Now, being again trying to get command with his pitches, he threw 44 fastballs in that outing, 89 pitches in total, and 44 fastballs, 21 sliders, 16 changeups. Command was an issue for him. Like I said, 89 pitches where he threw. Get this, 33 of them were in the strike zone. 56 were out of the strike zone. So command was a big issue when he did throw. When he did reach the strike zone, they were not corner pitches either. So a lot of meat out over the plate, sliders out over the plate as well. So again, Astros need to take advantage of that. For Ronel Blanco, on the other hand, like we said, I mean the Astros starting pitchers have not been bad.
Mm-mm.
I think each pitch
One quick,
did.
quick. I think it's like 270 something ERA or 240 something ERA as the first time around the rotation. Go ahead. Sorry
Did
about that.
Framber throw? No, that's okay. Did Framber throw 5 innings today?
Yes, he did.
So in each outing, each game so far, the Astros pitchers have at least minutes of 5 innings. Ronel
Yes.
Blanco did as well. 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, three walks, six strikeouts against the Giants, giving him 0-1 record, 5.46 RA. He did throw. Now we talked about Framber. I'm sorry, we talked about Ronel Blanco kind of relying too much on his changeup last year, right? And the teams are going to adjust and look for that. Well, what did he do? He threw the slider a lot more. 36 sliders, 29 fastballs, 14 curveballs, surprisingly 13 changeups. Again, for me, I think the hope for Fernando Blanco was to limit deep counts, like you said earlier, 3-2 count, one more McCullers tagged him there, and walks and all that good stuff. But I do see him. I do predict keeping faith on his changeup a little bit more. I don't think he'll throw it 13 times this time, maybe in the 18-20 percentile. But I do see that intake of the slider being beneficial for him.
Yeah, I mean that's a good adjustment that he made. Like we mentioned, changeup was very heavy last season, and 36 sliders. Excuse me. That's a big adjustment. 13 changeups, like you said, that's pretty surprising. I would have not thought Blanco would throw 13 changeups. But besides hoping to limit deep count, second time around the order to me is going to be another crucial part for him.
Yeah.
Like if he could get to throwing a good second time around, you're guaranteed, I would say, 6 innings, in my opinion. Either 6 or you could get to the 7. We've seen him try to get to the 7, but he's capable of getting to that 6 spot. He's been flirting with the 4 to 6 innings last season, and we've seen him get to the 7. But if you give him 5 innings, like you were saying, like all these other stars have done, it's a good job. And with Paddock, real quick too, the Astros are like top 15 in walks as a team. I did see that. I didn't put it on my notes, but I did see that when I was looking up for our notes for the Astros offense. And the Astros do a good job working counts. They work the count from 0-2 to 3-2. They will work their butts off until they put the ball in play, strike out, or get a walk. So that's what the Astros have done a great job with. And like you were mentioning with Chris Paddock, 4 walks, 56 pitches out of the strike zone. Make them work that count. Of course, Major League Baseball don't have the ABS system. You still got the general play of home plate umpire's view. But if you could continue making them work the count, continue them to get that pitch count rise, whatever you want to call it, then you're setting yourself and your team for success of getting him out of this game early and getting to that bullpen very quickly.
Yeah. And going back to Ronel Blanco, about, you said that your goal was to get better the second time around. My goal was to limit deep counts. So I think both go hand in hand because the more deep counts you go, the more pitches you throw, the more these players see what you got, right?
Exactly.
So, which kind of makes it more likely those second, third times around, they kind of know, they have a feel for your pitches, they're going to be able to tag you on that. So, again, both go hand in hand. So, yeah, I guess we're in agreement there for sure.
Yeah, this is a good series for the Astros to get back on the winning track. You can even say the same thing for the Twins, but for the Astros, more for me because I'm not saying the Twins are a horrible team, but they are a team that you can definitely beat in a playoff series. You did that in 23, but they do got some good pitchers. Like I said, don't overlook Bailey Ober, don't overlook Chris Paddock, definitely don't overlook Joe Ryan. But you got your dogs out there with Eric Getty, Brown, and Blanco. I think Blanco, like you mentioned, I think he can have a win in this column, even though he didn't get the win last game. And the offense, this is a good chance for them to get back on track. I'm not saying that, like I was saying, I'm not saying these guys are not good, but they're very hittable. They're very manageable to play against. Get to their bullpen. Their bullpen's pretty decent, I would say. Johan Duran, Jax. I think Fiesta's another one. No, that's the Dodgers. But anyway, their bullpen's not bad. It's decent. So this is a good series for the Astros to get back on the winning track, especially against a team that didn't play really good baseball against the Chicago White Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the bats can get hot, but the weather will not be for that. Minnesota is going to be 32 degrees the low on Thursday with 43 high. On Saturday, 32 low, 42 high. And then on Sunday, 29 as the low, 43 as the high. So some chilly baseball being played in Minneapolis for sure. So, hopefully the Astros can be able to bite, to counter, like, to be comfortable in that weather.
Beautiful field though. I'll say that. That is one of the nicest fields I've been to. And they got it. They got heaters in there too. If you did not know that, they got
Oh,
heaters.
really? Well, it
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
think they even heat up the field at the bottom. I want to say too, but I know they
Okay.
got heaters around the concourse. So beautiful field. If you're gonna go out there, check it out. I recommend.
Yeah. No snow on the forecast or rain, so it should
Well,
be pretty
that's
good.
good. That's good.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all for the pitching preview. Now let's go with the Astros. I should say injury update since we're only talking about one player, and that's Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers Jr. will make his next rehab start with the Double A Corpus Christi Hooks on Saturday. So keep an eye on that. Against Lance McCullers, I'm looking for him to, you know, I, he threw what 30 something pitches last time.
35 pitches.
Maybe 40, 45 is what I'm looking for. Like, they're going to gradually increase. I'll be
Gradually.
surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 50, but I will be surprised if he goes anything higher than that. So I would say maybe 45, 50 pitch count. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays at 30 again. So uh, just keep an eye on that. But what you're looking for is a good recovery process for Lance McCullers.
Yes.
No pain on the elbow. I mean, sometimes the adrenaline kicks in during the game where you kind of don't feel it, but it's those 2, 3 days after where you're doing arm care that you can kind of feel that soreness. So hopefully everything good for McCullers.
Yep. 3 innings, like you said, 50 pitches max.
So now around the horn is here, and we have some money being thrown around in the MLB, and we have the Athletics finally playing their first few games. That's Sutter Health Stadium. They have yet to win a game there, but some crazy adjustments or some adaptations, I would say that they have to do. I don't know if you saw the press conference room. It's like a little shed outside the bleachers there, and there's a picture of like all the. I mean, the A's don't have much media, right? But the opposing fans' media kind of just squishing in there. Looks hot, honestly, but to me, everybody's just squished in there. I don't think that's a comfortable place to work with, but also, hopefully you don't get injured while you're at the game because you do have they call it the walk of shame when you have to walk from the dugout to the outfield to get, any medical care going on there. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I did not. What the
Yeah,
hell?
they had to walk out of the stadium to get treated there. But yeah,
I think
there's a
I've heard
video on it.
something like that though.
Yeah,
It was at the very beginning when they started talking that it was going to be there at Sacramento.
yeah,
That's in,
yeah. So
that's crazy.
that's the video there. But this park is obviously a lot smaller than the Oakland Coliseum. Uh, there was a home run by Jacob Wilson, which is a highly prospect for the Athletics. His home run that he hit would only be a home run at Sutter Health Stadium. No other field would not even Minute Maid
Not
Park,
even Minute
Yankee
Maid,
Stadium,
not even
not even
Yankees.
not even Yankee Stadium. It was a home run only there. I mean, it was a good hit, but it's more like a line drive type of hit.
Off the
So
wall kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, but this Sutter Stadium, I think, could play an advantage for the A's, who I mean have an exciting team, honestly. Like they're filling up. Uh, Reach. I think last time they had about 8,000 people there, and they're like I think max can fit about like 10,000. So they're filling up some seats there, but this field could be an advantage for the Athletics, especially like Shay Langoliers, uh, Brent Rooker, and even Lawrence. I forgot his.
Lawrence Butler.
Yeah, Lawrence Butler. There you go to kind of get some home runs and kind of spark some offense to this Athletics team.
Yeah, very underrated team. Did he say Lawrence Butler call himself trying to say Oakland Athletics? He's like Oakland. He's like, oh, athletics. So
Yeah,
that's just
even go ahead.
no. I was gonna just talk real quick with the press conference room. That picture is insane. That
Yeah,
that looks like a press conference for a golf tour, like for like the PGA tour. You know how like
yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Full Swing on Netflix. They show like
Nah,
the press conference room. Highly recommend. They show the press conference room where they talk to like the golfers and everything. It looks bigger than that. Like it looks bigger than the press conference room over there in Sacramento. So yeah,
I
it sucks. I'm not gonna
I I saw someone on X saying that looks like a porta potty because you know how it's gray with the white roof. So it's That's what people are saying.
I think Kyle
But
Tucker likes that filter.
I'm sure he bought out there, or he's bought out there actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
but money is being thrown around the MLB, which is good. You, you want these players to be paid to be get comfortable, and some of these teams, the extensions they're doing makes sense. And I think as an Astros fan, you're looking at, like, for example, Jackson Merrill get paid, Christian Campbell getting paid. And if some of these young prospects can show that they can produce, I wouldn't be surprised if they think about making a contract like this. I know, like I know that was a conversation we had a few podcasts ago. But Jackson Merrill, coming off his runner-up to Rookie of the Year, gets a contract extension of 9 years, 135 million, basically buying out his arbitration years and then some a little bit there. Kento Marte, Diamondbacks extended Kento Marte for his 6 year, 116.5 million. The Red Sox reached an agreement with Gary Crochet for a 6 year, 1.70 million. And then this kid, Christian Campbell, talk about a fast start in the majors. Gets drafted out of Georgia Tech after playing one season, makes the team with a few games in the minors, and then now he's a millionaire because he
He's a
signs
millionaire.
an 8 year, 60 million contract with a club option for 33 and a 34 season. So talk about a career at such a young age. I think he has, what, 6 games under his belt. He's already signing an 8 year contract.
20 at bats. He's batting 400 right now. 1250 OPS.
There you go. I guess the Red Sox were quick to get him when he can, or they going to extend him when they can.
How do you think Roman Anthony feels and Marcelo Meyer, the other two top prospects on that, man? They're probably like happy and excited for him because they're called like they're known as the big three over there in Boston because of just they're the best prospects, the top three in their farm. I'm pretty sure there's excitement and happiness for their friend, but at the same time, they're like, "Hey, I kind of want to get a piece of that action. I want some of that money in
Of course, of
my
course.
big. So, but I will add on to this. Garrett Crochet, I think that was well needed for them. That is
Yeah,
well
they
needed.
need them.
They got their ace locked up after this season because I think he was going to be on
Free
his
agent.
free agent
No.
this coming season, right? Or either the next one.
Cool.
I'm not
I don't
100,
know.
percent
I have to double check now. Yeah.
but it was a good call on them. Ketel Marte, one of the best second basemen in baseball, and honestly, I'm even putting him in front of Jose Altuve as of right now, as just like as the best. And then Jackson Merrill, 9 years, 135 million. A guy, let's say, came from the infield and went to the outfield. Huge adjustment, huge year last year as a rookie. I don't know if you saw that. Padre fans, the city of San Diego put Jackson Mania or Merrill Mania underneath the Welcome to San Diego or the San Diego Highway, whatever the hell. Uh, but well deserved for these guys, honestly. I'm very interested to see what the Astros are going to do, something like that, if Cam Smith gets hot
Yeah.
the next coming weeks. I
Yeah.
want to
Honestly.
welcome and open that idea.
Yeah. Or maybe when he stuck by it, it's kind of like try to get him a little bit after his arbitration if he has
That's
3 more
true.
years
Three
too.
years right there as well.
Yeah.
Man, there's just a lot of options that the Astros could do, especially after next season. Next season, that's when all the dead money will be available.
Mhm.
That's the end of Presley's contract, the end of Jose Abreu, and the end of Rafael Montero's contract. So the Astros will have money next year. I don't know if they'll just want to wait for that extension, you know, after the season. I doubt. I honestly, in my opinion, I honestly doubt the Astros will work any extension during the season. I know a lot of Astro fans were talking about, they need to lock up Hunter Brown, and I've talked about they should, but with Hunter Brown getting Scott Boris his offseason, man, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's gonna be very difficult for Houston to try to lock him, especially if he pitches
Yeah.
well again this season.
Yeah. But we'll see. We shall see.
To end the show, we do want to give a shout out to our winner of the Jose Altuve bundle set of his first hit and his 2000 hit. Angel, I've got my phone on me right now, but you can shout the person out. She had won the set. We appreciate everybody participating in our giveaway of opening day, like we always do every year. We always do an opening day giveaway. But the Astros did give out the Jose Altuve City Connect bobblehead, Angel. I don't know if you got one. This is how it looks.
Oh wow, no, I didn't get one.
Yeah, it looks nice. It also glows in the like the skyline. Like you see, it has the
Oh
light.
no, it's pretty sick.
So yeah, it looks. It's. I think it's a series. I want to say Hunter Brown and what you call his name. You see at the ST. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a. I guess you connect the skyline as well from the back. Hunter Brown and I think
gotcha,
Jeremy Pena is the other player for City Connect. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
gotcha.
It's
Okay,
pretty cool. So shout out to the Astros. Um, Shout out to them for that giveaway. But of course, we always do giveaways the whole season, either tickets, stadium giveaways, whatever we can do to give back to the community that's always listened to our beautiful voices and on our social media. Like I said, if y'all haven't followed us on social media, what are you doing? You better get on there and start following us on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call that app, FSA Full Steam Ahead. We're putting a lot of content. Shout out to our guy Kane, like always, a videographer and photographer. FSA Full Steam Ahead, like I said, on Instagram, TikTok Full Steam Ahead. We're still putting content up there. We're building that numbers up as well. But that was one big thing we wanted to do this season was put a little bit more content and on TikTok, and we've done a really good job. We're almost at 1,000 followers in that social platform, and of course, where you're looking at us, where you're listening to us. I know a handful of people are looking at us on Twitter, but if you haven't gone to our YouTube page, we really would appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on the video, hit that bell, then you won't miss the videos. Like we said, we do player interviews, we talk to the coaches. We're there whenever the breaking news has happened as well. So be sure to have that on your phone, hit that bell, then you won't miss the videos we are posting. And of course, if you don't want to look at our beautiful faces, you can listen to our beautiful voices on the road. If you got to head to school, head to work, on a long road trip, heading from Houston to Minnesota, for some reason, I don't know why you're doing that. I would have flew, but if you want to do that and go on. And we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcast, get that rate, get the reviews, the stars, all that type of stuff. We appreciate your feedback. We love the feedback we get. Cantu, I'm almost out of breath talking this whole time. You got anything else before we sign off?
no, just thank you for again staying with us for this entire hour and 13 minutes. We appreciate the support that you've shown us, and just keep up, just keep updates with Full Steam Ahead to tell your people about us. And peace.
Yeah, still got some big things coming, like we always say. Interviews coming throughout the season as well. We'll make sure we'll put that out there. Then you will not miss out. But till then, everybody have a safe and blessed weekend. Remember, Astros play Thursday. They are off Friday, and they will continue that twin series on Saturday and Sunday. So if we don't talk to y'all, we'll talk to y'all at the end of that series. Probably more than likely going to be on Sunday, depending if U of H makes to the championship. So I'm looking at maybe U of H Auburn and U of H takes the net. Angel, any prediction real quick?
I think so. I got UH.
U of H and who?
Who's on the other? I say UH and Auburn.
Auburn and Florida.
Ooh, Florida actually.
Okay, you Gator boy. You Gator boy. All right. Till then, we'll talk to y'all later. Have a safe weekend. Be blessed, and we will talk to y'all Sunday night.
Peace.